very happy sunny Thursday to you. How is everybody doing? Have you been outside yet? Looked up at that gorgeous energy ball in the sky? Isn't it fabulous? Is the sun shining where you are? I hope it is. Let me know. Let me know where you are watching me from. Drop me a little note. I always keep an eye on my comments. Nice to see you all. Also quick, very good. Because we have another really good live today with another fab female founder, Mariska Dunlop, founder of this great brand called Life Armour. We're going to be talking about adaptogens and herbs for stress in particular. Stress and resilience. Do you know that kind of little feeling of overwhelm? We're going to be talking about how to lower our stress levels, in particular, lower our cortisol. So let's just breathe. Unhook your shoulders from your ears. Let everything just enjoy the next 30 minutes or so of our chat. So I'm going to add Lainey now as our moderator. So Lainey is in my team here at Earle Wellbeing. And if you have any questions about Earle Wellbeing, about the magazine, about the podcast, then she will be able to hop on and reply to that. And I'll join with Mariska in just a moment. Oh, look at you. Lots of sunshine. Isle of Wight. Watching from Surrey, says Alison. Lovely sunny day. Absolutely gorgeous. Leicestershire, Chippenham. Oh, no, Kippenham. Is that right? Berkshire? Chippenham. That's from Dollis Hill. Hi, Devon Creator. Sarah. Yeah, thank you. This is another fave from Carol McEwen. If you're not on her mailing list, she doesn't have a website. You have to hop over onto her Instagram, and then she will send you notifications of when she gets stock in of all these lovely things. I just love this kind of lovely sunny colour. And my beautiful peonies, aren't they gorgeous? I love peonies. Kind of always think of them as my birthday flower, maybe because they're always out kind of beginning of May. And just everywhere at the moment. If you pass a florist, I'm sure it will be just full of beautiful peonies. Maybe you've got some growing in the garden. I've got a few, but they don't look quite as nice as those. Green Witch says she's spending some time outside, pegging out the washing. How lovely. Imelda is in Ireland, and Julie is on the sunny Isle of Wight. You're very, very welcome here. Okay, let's see if we can get Mariska to join, and we will be all of that, how to lower it, how to feel better, how to feel a bit more in control, feel a bit less overwhelmed. Overwhelm is a word that's kind of I'm being too closely associated with recently. Hi, Mariska.
Hi, Liz. Nice to see you.
Very nice to see you, and lovely to see you recently in real life.
Yes, it was at Lauren's book launch.
Yeah, Lauren's book launch. Now, I did a great podcast with her. She's fabulous, talking about chronic fatigue syndrome.
Yes.
And that book is so brilliant. I was just so impressed, actually, with the huge number of things that she had put in there as resources for fatigue, and of course also for stress and for immune system. Anybody that hasn't listened to that, go to your normal podcast platform, just type in Earle Wellbeing Show, and that will pop up and take a listen. But I'm really interested always to hear about the brand founder and a bit of background. Do you want to tell us a little bit about how you came to set up Life Armour?
Yeah, so Life Armour was set up because I was busy juggling a full-time job, family life, and I looked to supplements to support my well-being, and I found it incredibly confusing and hard to find what I was looking for. I was also surprised about the lack of quality in a lot of supplements. I was quite surprised around seeing bulking agents and fillers as the first ingredients when I turned the packs around and had a look. And I'd worked in skincare for a very long time, so I was always really interested in ingredients, and I just started working with a group of women to understand what their needs were as well. And it was really clear that there was a gap to help address things like stress, sleep, energy. And I have to say, now being perimenopausal, it is even more important.
For sure.
It's different level.
Totally.
Still juggling all those things, and then with hormone shifts as well. I created Life Armour collaborating with a GP, a nutritionist, a medical herbalist. Brilliant. To ensure that we have really high quality ingredients, everything's in at active levels so that they make a difference to people. And they're all produced in the UK as well, which I think is really important.
And interesting that you talk there about fillers, because of course, one of the things that I really like about your range, particularly with the little
Yeah.
drops,
Yeah.
is, you know, when you're taking something sublingually, which kind of means just dropping it in
Yeah.
directly, it goes onto the tongue, it's going straight into the system. There's no fillers, there's no bulking agents, you know, there's nothing like a tablet. When we make a tablet, you've obviously got to create a binder that holds the active ingredient, and you kind of bypass that by using drops.
Yes, exactly. Exactly. The very nature of a tablet, you need a binder to hold it together. So the great thing, liquids are proven to work faster than tablets. So they're readily absorbed by the body and they get to work straight away because they're absorbed by the bloodstream. And the other great thing about liquids is tablets have to be broken down. And therefore, by the time they've reached the gut, lots of nutrients are lost. Whereas there is no breaking down in the gut of these, they're readily absorbed by the bloodstream and they can start to work within 15 minutes.
Amazing. I've just taken here, this is Drops of Balance.
Yes.
I almost always have one of these in my bag, and it just takes the edge off everything. And of course, the key ingredient here is ashwagandha, a lovely adaptogenic herb, which we'll talk into. But I just should actually point out, you've given us such a generous deal. Honestly, you're absolute superstar. Just to give people the information here, if you want to grab it, it's lifearmor.co.uk. We've got the normal Liz Loves discount, which is 15%, which is fantastic. But you've actually created this little travel bundle. So you've got the Drops of Balance, the Drops of Immunity, and the Drops of Vitality. So that's a discount already. So it's down from £66.50 to 62. But we then get our discount on top of that. So you've got a double discount.
Yeah, that's right. That's right.
And
And
that is for 1 week.
for 1 week,
So
yeah.
be
But the
quick.
Liz Love applies to everything, as it always does, ongoing. But for
Great.
the travel trio, and the reason is that our PR agency did some research, and they found that 40% of people have a fear or high anxiety around traveling. And I think this is the peak time of year for many of us to be traveling. So that was really, I love traveling, but I found that really interesting. But I also think that it can be quite overwhelming. I think when you're packing for the whole house to go away,
Completely.
I
Have I got my passport? Have I got my train ticket? Have I packed
yeah,
everything? Are we on time? Are we going to get stuck in traffic? You know, all of that stuff. Even if you're a seasoned traveler and, you know, you enjoy it, and I love it too, it's a cortisol raising moment,
it
isn't it?
is, isn't it? Yeah, it is. And yes, and I think there's the anxiety around it, and then research has also found that if you're sitting 1 or 2 rows from someone that might have some kind of bug or cough or something like that, you're 80% more likely to catch that. So that's where the Drops of Immunity comes into play to help obviously protect
Wow.
your immune system.
Yeah. How soon would you need to take that? I mean, do you take that just on the day of travel, or should you be taking it like a week beforehand to prep?
So the great thing about supplements, really, you should be taking them regularly to keep up a healthy habit. But if
Mm.
you're taking them in the week up to prep, you're obviously supporting your immune system. Well, we're in spring and summer now, so you know we're not really exposed to the bugs during autumn winter time. So you can take that for a week up. And also the great thing about our products is they're such a good size that you can take them on the plane.
You can. Yeah. So, and actually, the Drops of Balance, I can actually feel it working. It just gives you that little bit of extra kind of psychological, physiological support. And then the Drops of Vitality,
Yeah,
this is going to keep us going.
exactly.
So if we're out staying up a little bit later, maybe with these later nights, and this has got B6 and B12. So
Exactly.
that's helping with tiredness and fatigue.
Yeah, and then it's also got maca root in there and ginkgo biloba. So the maca root has been used for centuries to build resilience and stamina in Peru, and it's also great for libido as well.
Okay,
So
just in case you're going off somewhere with
perimenopausal
somebody.
women might want to listen up to that one.
Okay, can I take all these together?
Yeah, so we've developed the range to be used synergistically together. So actually, when
Okay.
you're taking different products, that you're likely to see, you know, greater efficacy over time.
Mm-hmm.
So there's no problem with taking the products simultaneously. You can take them any time as well. That's the great thing. So, you know, some people start their day with Drops of Balance, but they can also be used up to 4 times a day when you're feeling overwhelmed. So you can
Yeah.
use it the airport, you can use it on the plane if you're feeling overwhelmed.
Yeah,
And
yeah.
like you say, you're feeling the effects. We do. I was just talking to a customer just before we spoke who, was asking me about the products. And, for some people, they do see the benefit within 15 minutes or, an hour later, they feel calmer and they
Mm-hmm.
have a clarity of thought and they've forgotten that an hour ago they might have taken that drops of
Yeah.
balance.
Yeah. And are they safe? There's no contraindication. I know a lot of our community here are,
Yes.
might be on all kinds of medication, you likely to be on HRT.
Yeah, no, great point. No contraindication. So if there's something very specific, but for HRT, there's absolutely nothing. And these are natural ingredients and well-known vitamins.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
they're,
And then this one, I've got the drops of immunity. I'm going to take that as well. So this has got your vitamin C. What else have we got in
so
here?
we've got vitamin C. So it's got 100% of your recommended daily amount of vitamin C, which is from acerola.
Really?
Yeah.
Gosh, that's pretty potent.
And then it's got in
Mhm.
echinacea, which is high in antioxidants. And I know you're a very big fan of echinacea and also elderberry as well.
Love them. I mean, clinically proven. I've done quite a lot of research actually on both echinacea and elderberry.
Yeah,
Brilliant
yeah,
herbs for the immune system.
yeah.
Really clinically proven to work. So
And then
yeah, very, very happy to have that.
some immune supporting naturals in there like astragalus as well. So the great thing is you were talking about, I think as people get older as well, we tend to be on other medications. So a lot of our community talk about the fact they love the liquids because one, they're easy to take.
Yeah.
If you're having to take other tablets or capsules for medical reasons,
Yeah.
they're a real joy. And interestingly, I'm surprised by this, but a lot of people say to me that they really remember to take the liquids. They have them out on display or in the bag, like you've mentioned. And for them, it's a very easy way to take, your daily vitamins.
Yeah. Yeah. And for people that don't like swallowing capsules and all of
Yeah.
that. I have to say, I can't actually take you upstairs to my bedroom, but if you were to go upstairs to my bedroom, on my bedside table, I have your drops of slumber. I take them every night.
Yeah, so I just brought them down from my bedside table. Yes, and I think in these hot nights as well. I mean, I don't know about you, but I've got the windows open, the doors open.
Didn't sleep too well last night. Yeah, really, really hot. It's really hard, isn't
Yeah.
it? And what's in the drops of slumber then that help us get a good night's sleep?
So vitamin B6, which supports hormonal regulation. Montmorency cherry, which acts as a natural form of melatonin. And that's one of our key ingredients, really. So that is so effective at helping you drift off. And then you've got passion flower in there as well. So often at night, we're an overactive mind. Exactly that.
Overactive mind. Oh, yeah.
You just switch off. And in fact, we have a lot of our community either take it before bed or if they find themselves waking up at that dreaded 3 a.m. and you just can't help that overactive mind, you can take it then.
I should do that. That was me last night. I think I looked at my clock and it was 3:48.
Yeah.
Oh, drat.
Exactly.
So if I'd had my drops of slumber, literally, I mean, they were probably slightly out of reach, but I'm gonna move them tonight and I'm gonna have them ready. Maybe the fact that I've just got them there actually will mean that,
You sleep a bit better. Yes, you feel more reassured. But yeah.
Absolutely. Something else actually, which I should just mention, because I know that we do get our 15% across the whole range. So it's not just a travel bundle, which is a special deal, but obviously the drops of slumber separately. But this is also something that's really been helping me. It's the Super Me capsule.
Yeah. So you talked about cortisol spikes, and this product is all about helping build resilience to daily stress. And I think as so many of us can relate to that. And I think I've noticed it becomes particularly prevalent around perimenopause as well. So this product has won so many awards. It's got high levels of KSM 66 ashwagandha in there, and KSM 66 ashwagandha has been clinically proven to reduce stress and anxiety. It's got ionic magnesium in there. I know you're a big fan of
Magnesium. Yeah.
Magnesium that we use is in the finest particles, the ionic magnesium. Therefore, it's very easily absorbed by the body. So that, again, will help support the nervous system, help everything just calm down. We've got rhodiola in there, which helps with not only mental resilience, but also mental clarity. It acts like a nootropic. So it supports cognitive function and gives that
Can I take these as well? Can I take these as well as my drops?
Yeah, we recommend really that you
Go for
start
it.
the day with 2 of those.
Okay.
So they're really good at the start of the day to take 2 of those,
Mm-hmm.
and then you can take and that will, within 2 to 4 weeks, you notice that difference, and your drops therefore are supporting you. So your drops of balance can obviously, you're likely to still, experience feelings of overwhelm for different reasons, and you can take your drops of balance in those times. The great thing about the vitality drops on top of that is that it contains the B6 and B12, and our bodies don't readily store those vitamins. They're water soluble, so they go through our bodies. So that's why it's really important to be taking those on a daily basis. And again, if you are doing that and having that healthy habit, you'll start to notice a difference in your energy levels. And I think the heat is affecting our energy levels.
It's a sapper, isn't
It
it?
is. And then I think if you put perimenopause, menopause on top, which can be a challenge with
Yeah.
the
Oh
heat,
gosh.
it's such
Yeah.
a,
Even more so. Yeah. Yeah.
yeah. So that works really well to just keep the energy levels boosted to then you can be motivated to do your exercise, which we all know then helps you feel good as well.
Yeah. Let's talk about ashwagandha, because that is kind of almost the herb du jour. Everyone is talking about it. There's been so much research on it. I mentioned the word adaptogenic. Do you want to explain how it works?
Yeah, so adaptogens are really, really clever ingredients. And this is what inspired me. They're across all Life Armor products. They work like a thermostat, really. They detect what your body needs and they dial it up or they dial it down. So ashwagandha can work to balance you out and balance those cortisol roller coasters or the constant peaks and bring you, but it can also detect if energy is low, and it can bring that back up so that you're at this what they call homeostasis, so an equilibrium
Yeah.
basically, and that
Yeah.
everything should be, in an ideal world we would all be like this, except I think we all tend to be a bit more like that. So they tend to come from roots of plants that have endured extreme conditions, hence the name adaptogen, because they adapt to their environment.
Interesting.
So it's a really interesting. There's been I know that you've done some Instagram lives with Sarah Jackson, who we've done a lot of work with.
Yeah.
He's a big
Yeah, I love her.
is Lauren of adaptogens. And, there's been a number of clinical studies around adaptogens and a number of papers in, published papers around it. Like you say, it's ashwagandha is the herb du jour. I love that. I love that terminology. And but also adaptogens as a term and as ingredients are becoming increasingly prevalent, and people are talking about them more because they're seeing the benefit, because they're ingredients that you can't get through your food.
Yeah, and I think that's really interesting, because we talk a lot here about nutrition and nutritional supplements, which are really important and can certainly bring us up to the proper level, particularly of things that we're likely to be low in, like vitamin D and magnesium, for example. But as you say, these are things that no matter what you're eating, actually you're not going to get them. They are food grade supplements. They're
Yeah,
not, they're not medications. They're not going to be
yeah,
contraindicated. But we have all these extraordinary receptors. I was talking recently about CBD and about the cannabinoid receptors that we have on our cells and how that works. It's so fascinating, isn't it? The body is so nuanced, and there's so much in nature and in the natural world, looking at the plant kingdom,
yeah,
that we have a synergy with and that can support us, particularly in modern life. When we are surrounded, even if you're super chilled, you go outside, you've got environmental pollution, you've got, your car exhaust fumes, you've got your daily stresses, you've got the things that just kind of wind us up, your printer paper gets jammed, whatever it is, you get these sort of micro
yeah,
cortisol
yeah,
spikes, no matter how calmly you need to live. And it just gives you that little extra. And what I love about your range, Mariska, is it genuinely works. I discovered you during lockdown.
yes, yeah, yeah,
Super stressful time. I mean, you were a lifesaver, and I know that I speak for many here in this community when we first spoke, particularly with drops of slumber, with those really struggling with stress and anxious
yeah,
thoughts, the drops of balance. Those two in particular were game changers, and I bought them kind of in bulk, gave them particularly to my girls,
yeah,
and honestly, the difference that they make. In fact, I have to watch it when they come and stay with me now, because I kind of watch the bottle go down. I'm thinking, hold on a minute, I think there's somebody else having a go at these, because they just love them.
yeah. Yeah, no, thanks, Liz. And it is true. I think we have a lot of people, that use it as part of their sort of perimenopause and menopausal repertoire to support. But then I
Yeah.
have conversations with a lot of customers that talk to me about, their teens and their young adults,
Yeah.
exam stress is, or going out, and, that we're chartering tricky times with the economy and trying to find jobs or whatever it might be. And I think, there is a lot of overwhelm around all of
Yeah.
that. So it really was my intention that it had to be whatever we created was first and foremost efficacious and from
Mm.
high quality ingredients. And then the other pieces of making it easy to shop for people, that it does exactly what it says
Yeah. Yeah.
and that it looks nice, that people want to put it out as opposed to having everything hidden in a cupboard.
Yeah, yeah. And I think, that whole thing about just being able to add it in at whatever stage of life you're at, whatever kind of, food diet you're following, if you're doing any kind of restricted eating, if you're cutting out certain food groups, you don't need to worry about that. It's just that extra little top up. And, like many watching here, I'm on HRT, transformational for me, navigating that journey. I wish I'd started it earlier. I didn't start it during perimenopause. I had to kind of, get to grips with it during menopause. And I find that, that is a game changer for me, obviously, the estrogen and all of that. But I still find additional benefit from the adaptogenic herbs. Perimenopause and menopause, my symptoms are sorted with the estrogen. So, heart palpitations, hot flushes, all of that,
Yeah.
not an issue. But that's just brought me up to kind of normality.
Yeah.
I'm then still living in a stressful environment, and I've still got, hot nights, and I've still got, overwork and overwhelm and all those other things that come into life. So HRT is fantastic for me. That's the kind of the underpinning. But everything else, I'm still having extra benefit from and feeling so good. And I mean, that's what we want to do here at Liz Loves and Earle Wellbeing, is just bring things that are proven to make a difference, and not everybody, I have to tell you, gets onto Liz Loves. You have to be genuinely loved by me, obviously, and the team, and have the evidence to back it up and to prove it, so that we can really say with authority and integrity, genuinely, this is good stuff.
Yeah, no, it's true. Because there's a lot out there that, yes, that isn't necessarily, and I know you'll know that from your, background as well.
Yeah.
So it is.
Yeah, there's a lot of smoke and mirrors and
There
bit of woo-woo nonsense going on. So, I'm all for a bit of woo-woo, but it's got to be the proper stuff. I like my grounding. I like going up in the early morning, looking at the sun, having my cold showers, all of that. That's all part of it. But I think ultimately there are other things that we need to add in, just because we've lost that natural connection, haven't we, over the years with the natural world. Our ancestors would have been digging up roots and grinding them up. There were, kind of medicine women, or, witches, or whatever you want, apothecaries and alchemists. They were doing all this stuff. They knew it. Look at all the ancient traditions, Ayurveda and traditional Chinese medicine. These guys, they knew it.
And it's very big. Adaptogenic herbs in the East has been absolutely huge, and particularly in Ayurvedic medicine, for such a long time. It's just taken us a number of years to catch up.
Thousands of years. They were so ahead of the game. And of course, that also gives us security, because that's time tested. This is not a new thing. This is not, I'm all for some of these new, interesting kind of biohacking supplements, which fascinating, but actually to have something that's got the longevity behind it, and we know that it's safe, we know it's effective, and that's why it has literally stood the test of time.
Yeah, and the increasing evidence around it and publications around it.
Yeah,
as
now
well.
we prove it, don't we? Modern science proves what the ancients knew.
Yes, yeah, absolutely, and lots of great, evidence that supports the effectiveness of it. And then, like you say, I think the fact is that so many people tell us, I've recommended it to friends, or I give it, like you said, the kids take it, whatever it might be. And that for me is the proof in the pudding. When people start recommending it to others, or the household are using it, that it's something. It is a
completely. Yeah, no, and I've given it to my ex. I mean, there's just, everybody, all ages and stages, recommended it to my parents, my kids, my teens. It is just something that is intergenerational. And what I also love actually is the little droppers, thinking about traveling, about heading out there, the drops of balance, particularly with your ashwagandha.
Yeah.
This, you can pop it into your bag, and because it's not a tablet or a capsule or a powder, you don't need to mix it with anything. You don't need water. You literally just go, oh, right, I need a few drops of that. Thank you very much. And I'm going to get on with my day. How easy is it and how effective? That's another real plus point, I think, and a unique selling point for you.
Yeah, super easy to use on the go. In fact, I found something just a couple of days ago, which was when you took your Italy trip, from the first trip you could do post lockdown, and you had them all in your clear plastic bag with your drops of immunity and
Yeah.
everything there. It is that's what I wanted it to be. I think we're all busy enough, and if you can just use them very conveniently and quickly, and you reap the benefits from them.
Yeah, absolutely. So with each of them, how often could you take them? I mean, is there quite a
Yeah,
danger of overdosing?
so best, it's best to have a pipette a day to start, with all of them. If you're lacking energy, definitely be having a pipette a day. What's great is that when you're feeling, so if we take drops of immunity, have it, one a day, but when you're feeling under the weather, you can take a maximum of 4, so you can dial it up when
Right.
you need to, and then dial it back down again. Drops of balance, you can, what we find a lot of people doing is using the Super Me capsules, and then once the resilience there is kicked in, they just use less of drops of balance, and they
Yeah.
have the on the spot moments, and whether it is in the bag or at the desk side, to
I
help.
think, yeah, I think that's a really good idea, actually. I'm definitely going to go back to my daily fix of Super Me, and I'm going to keep my drops of balance for a little top up. And how long do you think before you would see a difference with Super Me? Obviously, it's got to get into your system, hasn't
Yeah,
it?
4 weeks really, 2 to 4 weeks, but 4 weeks using it absolutely every day.
Yeah. Do you know, it's funny because, very often you'll start a new regime like this and the weeks go by and you kind of forget that you're taking something new. And then all of a sudden you think, gosh, I feel really good. And it kind of, sometimes you have to remember to join the dots and remember why you're feeling so good. And it was because, 3 weeks before you started adding this in, and actually it's really kicking in. And sometimes then you feel so good, I get into that habit that I then forget, or I run out
Yeah,
and I haven't put my new order in. And then you kind of dip again. You think, oh gosh, what was it? Oh yes, I know.
yeah, always join the dots. Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. What's your best seller at the moment?
The Slumber and the Super Me.
Really?
Yeah,
I'm not surprised. I imagine you have a lot of repeat purchase, which is always the
we
key,
do.
isn't it?
We have very loyal, actually, a loyal fan base, and a lot of them are Liz fans, actually.
Oh, good. Using their discount. Well, we're
Yeah,
very grateful for it. And just to say, actually, for anybody who missed it at the beginning, absolutely brilliant deal. This is for 1 week only. So this is the special one. So there's a little trio that Mariska's put together really kindly, exclusively for us. You get all three: your immunity, your vitality, and your balance. Perfect for heading off for the summer, for traveling. That's already discounted on your website, isn't it? For normal people. And then for special people, you can then add the Liz Loves discount on top of that. So you get a double discount. Okay, so you get your 15% off a price that's already discounted. So
yeah. No, it's a great deal. And just, I can see it come up. So we've already mentioned it, but absolutely all our products can be taken with HRT as well.
yeah, yeah,
So
yeah.
no real issues with this. So yeah, absolutely. If you're on HRT, all of Life Armor products are good to use on it.
Good, because that is me and so many of us. Mariska, it's so lovely to see you. I wish you huge success. You are a fab female founder. You are a shining example of filling a need, doing it properly, making a brilliant product, and great customer service. Where can people contact you if they have an extra question?
Yeah, so we've got one of our team on the line now looking at lots of questions, and we'll come back to you directly. Find us at Life Armor Nutrition, or you can email hello@lifearmor.co.uk, and we'll come back to you.
Brilliant. And I know that your customer service and all of that is great, and you're super speedy with your delivery too, which we really appreciate. Thank you
Thanks.
so much.
Lovely to see you. Have a nice rest of your day.
You too, my lovely. Thank you. Do you
Bye-bye.
want to click off so I don't take everybody else off with you? Bye bye. Thank
Bye.
you. Super, highly, highly recommended. Very interesting, isn't it? What do you think about adaptogens? Have you put adaptogenic herbs into your diet at all? I know that we've talked in the past about ashwagandha, nootropics, all of that. Lulu Gold, where do I start? Oh gosh, depends what your issue is. I think that bundle's a great deal. So I think if you want to grab your bundle, then that's going to give you the best saving. But there is 15% off everything on Life Armor. If you are feeling a bit overwhelmed, a bit in need of a tonic, Super Me, that's going to be my daily fix going forward. I just feel better when I take it. I feel more vital. I feel kind of more me. you know? So anyway, thank you, Mariska. Lovely, lovely to see you. Something else that you're all loving just before I go, and again, very timely for summer, Amino Slim, back in stock. Hurrah. Thank you very much, Zana at Strong Nutrients. We've got an exclusive discount on that. It's 12% with Liz Loves. This is quite a fussy supplement, remember. This is the one that you have to take on a completely empty stomach. So you take it last thing at night, maybe if it's a couple of hours after your last mouthful of supper. I tend to eat quite late, so I often take mine first thing in the morning. And if you take it first thing in the morning, that's great on an empty stomach, but then do a little bit of exercise to activate it. Because it's an amino acid, L-ornithine, and it needs a little bit of hormonal activity to get it working. And it targets belly fat in particular. And I've looked at the clinical studies, because I remember chatting to Zana thinking, this sounds a bit too good to be true. You know, if somebody says to you, oh, take this at night and it's going to make you slim while you sleep, you go, yeah, I'm not sure about that. But you can look it up. L-ornithine, PubMed studies, really interesting clinical trials proving this stuff. And I know I should trust you, Zana. I do trust you, I promise. But, you know, I do like to double check as well, treble check. This is also called Gym in a Jar, which I think is quite fun. So you either take it last thing at night, and then what you're doing is, because our hormones change while we sleep, and we're producing, you know, different bits of activity, our stem cells are you know, being created and all of that, that's how it kicks in, okay? If you don't take it last thing at night on an empty stomach, you won't have that sleep hormonal profile that activates it. So instead, you need a little bit of exercise. That's what then makes it work. You don't need a lot. You know, you can do your high intensity if you want to, but you do need to get just a little bit breathless. So you could be in your pajamas, 50 squats or whatever, at the end of your bed, just go, right, okay, whew, I've really felt that. That's when it's going to kick in, okay? And again, you keep your stomach empty, so you don't need to eat for another hour and a half or so. So first thing in the morning is when I take mine. Usually, sometimes, if I've had an early supper, then I will take mine overnight. But that's a very good one to grab. And I know, excuse me, slightly hay fevery nose, I am on my quercetin, which is stopping me sneezing. Then I do know that she's back in stock because it's very, very, very popular. Just to say also, there's another really special offer from our lovely friends at Mighty Brew, who's drinking your Earle Wellbeing kombucha. So this, I love this. This is the elderflower sec. So instead of drinking kind of elderflower cordial, which is full of sugar, you can drink a low sugar probiotic drink. So it's genuine good stuff. You've got all the probiotics coming from your kombucha SCOBY in there. And that is, I think, for a limited time, 20% off. Okay, and that is just until the 18th of June if you're watching me in real time. So it's a quickie, but if you'd like to grab it, maybe stock up some drinks for the summer solstice. That's on the 21st of June. So thank you very much to our friends at Mighty Brew. I hope that everyone's on the newsletter list for the Liz Loves newsletter. If you love all your discounts and your wellness codes, then that's a newsletter that goes out on a Tuesday. It's a separate newsletter from our normal one, okay? So if you want that Liz Loves newsletter, you have to just hop online onto the website and sign up, and then you'll get that one on a Tuesday. Friday is our editorial freebie. So that's when you get the editorial newsletter. Comes out tea time every Friday, just ready for the weekend. So it's coming out tomorrow. So make sure you're on the list to get that. And that's where we have lots of recipe ideas for the weekend. We'll have links to the latest podcast. We'll have competitions. We'll have news, all sorts of things to get your wellness off to a really great start for the weekend. So, but of course, you have to sign up. Otherwise, we can't send it to you. And I promise you, we do not spam you. We do not sell your data for marketing or any of that bad stuff. It's simply a free resource to share stuff with our community here. And if you don't like it, then you just unsubscribe and we won't bother you again. But do check your junk mail though, because sometimes it does end up in spam. So just something to watch out for that. That's it for today. There will be, of course, a brand new episode of the Earle Wellbeing Show podcast that goes live as well on a Friday. So watch out for that. Just head over to your podcast app. All smartphones have podcast apps, whether you're using Android or Apple. It's on all the platforms, Apple, Spotify, all of those things. And of course, if you can't find it for any reason, just go to the website, lizelwellbeing.com. That is the mothership that contains links to everything. And it's jam-packed with great articles and features and things that you might want to read as well. That's it for today. I'm going to be back with you live on Tuesday. And a little bit different, one of my favourite people, Grace, fab female founder. She founded a great beauty brand called Studio 10, and we are going to be doing a live makeup tutorial together. We love our tutorials. So she's going to be showing me how I can get my face on for the summer, but really key, how to use simple products in at least 3 different ways. So multitasking makeup. That's going to be the live on Tuesday. So make a note in your diary. I'll be here at 12:30 live, or of course you can join on Catch Up. We always save our Instagram live so that you can watch them and you can share them and send a friend a link if you think it might be interesting, and just spread the love, share the word. Thank you so much, Sarah. Loving the podcast. Yeah, it's some good stuff going on, really. Sandy, the gym in a jar. Okay, that caught your attention. It's called Amino Slim. It's from Strong Nutrients. Okay, if you want any of the Liz Loves, by the way, just go to lizearlewellbeing.com and you'll see there's a whole section there. My team works so hard on this and it's updated all the time. So just check it out, because you never know. There's fashion and fitness and food and supplements and all sorts of stuff. You never know what little deals are lurking online to grab some money off. Anyway, that's it. Have a lovely rest of the day. Have a super weekend. Hope you'll tune into the podcast tomorrow. Enjoy the newsletter. And I'll be back here live on Tuesday. I'll see you then. Thanks for all your hearts. Bye-bye.